Hello everyone, this is part 20 of What If Naruto Failed and Chose a Different Path, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. Naruto, what was that technique you used to get here? Said Sasuke, looking at the masked genin as they walked through the forest. Don't bother asking, Sasuke, it's not a technique you can copy with your eyes. By the way, what scroll did we get? Said Naruto, looking at them as they walked. We got the Heaven Scroll, which means we need the Earth Scroll before we head to the tower in the set time limit, said Sakura as she showed him the scroll from her pocket so he knew what it looked like. Good. Now if you two will excuse me, I have to take care of some personal business as nature is calling with a bullhorn, said Naruto, as he walked past them to take care of relieving himself away from his teammates. Moments later, after Naruto finished emptying his bladder of its natural waste from his body, he zipped up and started to head back to the group. However, as he did, he noticed a group of mist ninjas dressed in what looked like yellow kiddie pajamas with masks on. Who's training people these days in the way of the ninja? I mean, they look like they're ready to sleep in a baby's crib, not fight. Oh well, I should get rid of them and take their scrolls so we can go straight for the tower, thought Naruto, as he moved up above them, seeing as shinobi rarely look up. Do you have this feeling we're being watched? Said one of the mist ninjas, who got a nod from the other two right before Naruto struck. Fire style, fire dragon missile jutsu. Said Naruto, taking a massive breath of air before releasing a huge ball of fire in the shape of a dragon from his mouth. As expect, the technique killed the three unsuspecting mist ninjas and to a large degree a good part of the surrounding area. Fortunately, the scroll they held remained intact. It was a good thing Naruto mastered learning this fire jutsus he learned from a scroll in his father's library. Apparently it was one of many techniques the third knew and passed down to his father to learn somewhere down the road. Who said that roasting things on an open flame is boring? Thought Naruto, as he walked over to the undamaged Earth Scroll and pocketed it for safekeeping. When he returned to his group, they found them waiting impatiently until he told them that there were other teams around and he had to be discreet. Well, he does have point, thought Sakura, knowing it would be unfitting of a shinobi to be taken down in such a manner. If Naruto makes us wait like that again, he's going to wish he was. Char, thought inner Sakura, as Sakura's inner person's eyes blazed with fire with her arms and fists hitting air in all directions. After several hours of heading to the tower, Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke were now deep into the forest of death, not knowing of the snake literally hiding in the grass. That's it, my prey, walk into the trap set by the predator, thought the mysterious figure before it sprung the trap on them. Hokage Tower Lounge Area. Slade, Kakashi, Guy, Asuma, Zabuza, and Kurenai were all sitting down in the sofa chairs in the lounge area. They soon found that the quiet chatter between all of them was almost new to them without their students talking while they were around. So all of our students made it through a Biki's tea session, huh? Well, it's not surprising on my end with my genius Shikamaru, said Asuma, bragging for all the others to hear. That is true, but don't forget Naruto outdid your student by a good 10 minutes on the written test, Asuma. If anyone should brag about one's students, it should be me, said Kakashi, smiling behind his mask with his one eye turning into a U shape. Please Kakashi, don't make me barf out a lung. You didn't train Naruto at all during the entire week before the Chunin exams started. I should know, seeing as he was looking at scrolls in his new house when he was home, said Zabuza, as he remembered during the week how Naruto was almost literally drinking the knowledge each scroll in the library possessed. Oh, what about you, Zabuza? Do tell us what you have been doing now that you are a Konoha Leaf Shinobi now, said Kakashi before taking out his perverted book to read, making Kurenai's right eyebrow twitch at the sight of it. Making deals with other Junin to help their students out. Your eternal rival, next to you, is a good example, seeing as I'm giving his mini-me version of himself Rock Lee swordsmanship lessons when and if he finishes, said Zabuza, making Kakashi look up from his book in shock. Yosh. It is true, Kakshi, my eternal rival. Soon my Lee will begin his training under Zabuza-san and will surpass your Uchiha. Yelled Guy, who was now standing up making everyone sweat drop at the man's antics. Not only that, but I was teaching Kurenai's student Hyuga Hinata how to make water clones and do the hidden mist jutsu like I did Naruto. From my understanding she has an affinity for water and can move quite gracefully on it I might add, said Zabuza smiling behind his bandaged lower part of his face. Damn, my students better not run into any of yours or I mess when they come looking for me. Hey. What about the Uchiha kid? Sasuke, right. What has the last Uchiha of a prodigy learned since he's been learning from you Kakashi? Said Asuma taking a drag from his cigarette looking at the one-eyed man with interest in what he could say. Oh, a little of this and that. I taught him how to master a few jutsus and further enhance his chakra control on the tree walking exercise. Nothing too hard if that is what you are thinking, as I didn't want stress that much into his training until it's time for the third part of the exam, said Kakashi flipping a page in his book to continue his reading. Not to sound like overconfident, but I find you are all lucky I'm not allowed to be inside Naruto at the moment during this exam or you would find your students long eliminated from them, said Slade folding his arms along his chest. Then why aren't you? Said Kakashi, as he had been originally reading his orange book to drown out the presence of the demon lord. Because the Hokage asked me to sit this one out Kakashi. Neither he nor I want Naruto to become dependent on me during his training, missions, and anything else that comes his way. Besides, I'm not the only one that is inside of him as you all well know, said Slade smirking beyond his mask, as he saw them all shiver at the remembrance of seeing Naruto grow dark wings of fire before taking off from the academy. You still haven't told us more about that, said Kurenai looking at Slade, who looked at her back finding those eyes to be most intoxicating. Intoxicating, but not wool-bending. Sorry my dear, but I can't tell you seeing as only my vessel that is Naruto can. However, if you want you can ask him when you see him next by all means go right ahead and ask away, said Slade in a purring voice that nearly made Kurenai swoon near him when she heard him talk. The sight of the two together made Kakashi sick to his stomach, as he narrowed his eye slightly, closed his book, and left the room without a word. What's got his ass squeezed shut tight? Said Zabuza, who raised an eyebrow at the whole thing. Back in the Forest of Death. No one saw the attack coming, not even Naruto, as Team 7 were walking forward 1 minute, only to be hit with some sort of wave of unknown power. The blast itself left a huge crater on a giant boulder next to the spot that they were at. Sakura was the first to recover as she had taken the least of the blast, with Sasuke being second, and Naruto being third being sent flying into an unknown part of the forest. Hey Sasuke, are you alright? Said Sakura running up to him only to see he drew a kunai from his holster and readied it at her. Wait, how do I know you are the real Sakura? Tell me something only the real Sakura would know that I know too, said Sasuke as he had been away from the group and he did not want to be taken out by some imposter. Sasuke-kun, it's me. We went to the academy and I got high marks on my written tests because I was so smart, said Sakura hoping it would prove she was who she said she was. So, many of the other kids at the academy knew that. For I know you could be one of the other Leaf Genin teams with a different scroll trying to get ours, said Sasuke, as he hardened his grip on the kunai. But that's not possible as I have the Heaven Scroll with me and only me, Naruto, and you knew that when we first entered, said Sakura showing him the scroll proving that it was indeed the Heaven Scroll. That is all the proof I need, said Sasuke as he lowered his kunai holding arm before putting it away seeing as there was no need for it at the moment. Good, now we just need to find Naruto seeing as he got hit the hardest, said Sakura, as she pointed to the direction she saw him last. We better hurry too. The sooner we get to the tower the sooner we can rest, said Sasuke as he and Sakura hurried off to find Naruto. With Naruto got up from the ground and dirt below him cursing under his breath for letting his guard down knowing Slade would never let him live it down. He had pushed Sakura out of the way since she was the weakest of the group taking the scroll she had and pocketed it quickly just before he was hit with the blast. After that, Naruto had nudged Sasuke from most of the blast radius before the attack came, as he would be able to handle some of it, as it was the equivalent of a small beating. I guess I deserve this considering I had to save their asses from annihilation, thought Naruto, before he cracked his end left and right. Just as he finished doing that Naruto heard a hissing sound putting him on full alert just before the attack came from behind him. What the hell? Said Naruto, as he saw a giant snake open its mouth and swallow him whole. Satisfied with its meal, the snake went off to rest, relishing in getting the easiest meal it has had in several years. At least that was what it thought before Naruto had enough of being digested by the slippery serpent. Enough of this crap. Ninja art, shadow clone, great explosion, said Naruto, forming the necessary hand seals before making a small set of shadow clones before having them explode, king the giant snake in a very noisy and gruesome fashion. Once Naruto removed most of the snake guts and blood from his clothing, Naruto started heading for his companions, sensing their chakra signature through the forest. He paused for a moment when he sensed another figure near his friends, and it was not a signature of some genin. This was a signature, though masked, was powerful nonetheless. Looks like my teammates are in trouble. Big trouble, thought Naruto as he became more alarmed as the unknown signature that was with his friends increased far beyond this as he now ran to help his shinobi comrades. With Sasuke and Sakura. One moment Sasuke and Sakura were on their way to find Naruto, only to have Naruto come out of nowhere, surprising both of them. Sasuke, being an Uchiha, knew better than to trust this person to be Naruto, as the eyes that Naruto had when facing them were too friendly. Sasuke knew that the real Naruto hated his guts with a passion. Sakura's too, though, to a certain degree, and had eyes to match the feelings for both of them. After a quick throw of a kunai that was caught by the imposter, Sasuke took out another one, and then readied himself for battle. Who are you? You're not Naruto, said Sasuke, seeing right through the henge. Impressive, you saw through me. I expect no less from the Uchiha prodigy of Konoha, said the Naruto imposter before turning into a female grass ninja. I assume you're the one responsible for our recent group disruption, said Sasuke, as he got into his family's taijutsu fighting stance. Yes, I wanted to face you without the distraction of the others, but I suppose the pink-haired girl's presence won't make much of a difference considering how weak she is, said the grass ninja before barraging them with cure intent so powerful that the two were frozen on the spot, started envisioning their own deaths. What the hell? I can't move any of the muscles in my body. I've never felt cure intent this strong before, thought Sasuke, as the vision of death had ended and he saw the grass ninja walking towards him with the very same kunai that had been thrown at his enemy. I wonder how your blood tastes, Uchiha. You cannot imagine just how much I am truly looking forward to draining you dry of it, said the grass ninja that was getting closer and closer to the two genin. Elsewhere, Gaara and his siblings walked through the forest as if it was an everyday thing to be in a place that could kill you if one were to make even the slightest of errors. Of course, it did not bother Gaara much due to his sand protecting him from harm. Another added bonus was Gaara was receiving training from none other than his inner demon herself, Shukaku, or, as she was rather known to be, Terror. With her insanity as well as his from not being able to sleep now under control and contained, Gaara was more focused than ever before. Even better was he found a brotherly type bond with Konoha's own demon vessel, and the ironic thing was that both demons inside of each of them knew one another from a life long before there's ever existed. Uzumaki Naruto, truly he has a power in him that is far beyond that of anyone, whether human, demon, or demon vessel, thought Gaara, as he closed his eyes now without worry of them staying shut and him falling asleep. It was then that rain ninjas appeared out of nowhere, demanding that Gaara hand over his scroll to them or they would kill him, his brother. You don't stand a chance against us, kid, and if you give up now, not only will you be spare, but we will leave your whorish-looking, female friend alone. That way she won't become our after-party special to help us, well, relive ourselves from the stress of taking your lives, said the rain ninja with several piercing that were on the right side of his face, as he and his two ninja partners held kunai holding umbrellas in their hands. Naturally, Gaara's eyes hardened at the mention of his sister and the word, whorish, as he knew what the direct word for that came from. He was not ignorant when it came to that of females and how they dressed, but his sister was precious to him. In the time that Gaara had been able to see that during the week prior to the exams, he understood just what value of both of his siblings' lives and cherished them more than his own. This rain ninja, who obviously thought that he was superior, had done something no one should do, and that was targeting his family. Granted, he didn't know they were all family, but that was not relevant now, seeing as he had 3 rain ninjas to kill. I just have one word to say to all of 3 of you fools, said Gaara before letting his sand fly out and covered all of them in his sand. What is this? Said the second rain ninja, as he along with the others struggled to get out of it. My sand coffin, and now for my desert burial, said Gaara with his arm stretched out with his hand tilted sideways before turning it into a fist. The result of this hand gesture made the sand around the rain ninjas consume and crush them into nothing as the blood was absorbed into their sand before it retreated once more into his gourd. I thought you were in control of our bloodlust, Gaara. Thought Terra now in his mind, or rather a mindscape shaped like a desert of all things. When people say things about my family like that, then all bets on not king people like those rain ninjas are off, thought Gaara, as the sand before retreating all the way back dropped the scroll his team needed into his hand. We started with an earth scroll and now we have the heaven scroll, making the task of having both complete. We should head to the tower now, said Gaara, pocketing the scroll in his hand away before he and his siblings headed for the destination. Back with Sasuke and Sakura. The grass ninja was beyond them that much. Sasuke knew by this point and needed to get away from her before he and Sakura SD. At the last moment, before the female ninja could strike, Sasuke was able to pull out another kunai and jam it into his leg, freeing him of his impending doom. This moment allowed him to grab Sakura and run as fast as he could away from their enemy so they could get the very much needed breathing space. So you caused yourself real pain to undo the fake vision that I hit you with. You are becoming more and more interesting, Sasuke Uchiha, said the female grass ninja before she set off to continue her pursuit. Moments later, Sasuke and Sakura were both panting from all the running they had just done to get away from the psycho grass ninja. We have to get out of here, Sasuke-kun. We have to try and find Naruto, said Sakura, wondering where in the hell was he when they needed him the most. For once I think you're right. We better hurry though, I think our enemy will be closing in on us soon and I don't think we can take him, said Sasuke, getting to his feet along with Sakura only to be ambushed again by the grass ninja. Sorry Sasuke, but I can't let you go just yet, said the grass ninja before she pulled out several shuriken and threw it at them. Naturally, Sasuke dodged them as did Sakura, but as they did, their unrelenting enemy attacked them in taijutsu, knocking Sakura against a thick tree trunk, nearly knocking her out. Sasuke activated his Sharingan eyes and began to battle his opponent in an all-out fight for survival. A fight, which he was slowly losing despite his Sharingan eyes having a second coma added to each eye. Even with the more improved ability active, due to the enemy ninja's speed being faster than what his eyes could see, Sasuke could barely keep up. Damn it all, I guess I have to try that move, thought Sasuke as he leaped away, but not before he had started throwing a heavy barrage of shuriken throwing stars at the female ninja, who saw and dodged them with a graceful ease. You missed me, Sasuke, said the grass ninja, as she smirked at her prey while slightly disappointed that the Uchiha was not fighting up to her standards. You are in for quite the surprise, said Sasuke as he activated his trap of invisible wires to ensnare his unsuspecting victim into his trap. Unsuspecting the grass ninja was, as she was pulled back into the tree behind her while Sasuke with the wires in his hands and in his mouth went through hand seals. Fire style, dragon flame jutsu. Thought Sasuke before he took in a massive intake of breath and unleashed his fire along the wire that reached the destination of his prisoner. As expected, the strings caught ablaze, ending at the intended target, burning still shocked grass ninja asunder along with the tree that she was being held in. I guess we didn't need Naruto after her, said Sasuke, as he walked over to Sakura lifting her upright. Don't be too sure, Sasuke, there is more to this ninja than meets the eyes, said the grass ninja, as she revealed herself walking out of the fire as if it was nothing. What? Said Sasuke in surprise, as he and Sakura backed away from this freak of nature of a woman as she advanced on the both of them. Come here, my prey, said the grass ninja, as she charged forward in an unnatural grace that was clearly beyond that of any genin, chunin, and even junin for that matter. Before she could approach, explosive tags were thrown at the female ninja, forcing her to backflip away. Back off, lady, or I'll send you back to grass in a tiny matchbox, said Naruto, appearing in front of Sasuke and Sakura while getting into his fighting stance. Ah, well, if it isn't the infamous Uzumaki Naruto, who finally making his appearance and thus gracing himself with his presence. I am somewhat surprised that my little pet did not digest you when I ordered it to eat you, said the grass ninja with her smile back on her face as she ate her thumb and placed the blood on a seal on her arm before summoning a giant snake similar to the one Naruto fought. I suspected as much from you, as you are one of the legendary 3 Sannin that is the traitor of Konoha, known only as Orochimaru, said Naruto, pointing an bandaged accusing finger at the ninja. So you know who I am, do you? Change in voice. My, this is a strange turn of events, is it not, Uzumaki Naruto? I see you have grown and become strong since last I heard with my spies in Konoha. However, that in itself is also another surprise considering nearly all of the village hates you for what you contain inside of you, Naruto. I would have thought that such hatred would have stunted your growth, not made you stronger. What is your secret? I am most curious, said Orochimaru, spinning the fake skin off her, now his pale face revealing with yellow-like eyes, making it to be more snake than human. Let's just say that I had some very strong teachers that were beyond good at what they did with training me. If you only knew who they were, you would be afraid of me right now, seeing as they could easily KO you and any ninja stupid enough to follow you for your quest for immortality, said Naruto before he starting fighting Orochimaru, despite the fact the man was a Sannin. After a while Orochimaru started to get slightly worried, as the boy was much stronger than he was made to believe from his information. After ordering his giant snake to KO Naruto, Orochimaru could only watch as a black flame appeared in the boy's hands that went through his snake's skull. Rapid fists of the mortal flame, said Naruto, as his two-fist punched the snake repeatedly until the snake couldn't take it anymore and went, poof, away after the last shot hit the snake in between the eyes and into the brain. To make matter worse for the snake Sannin, he needed to refocus his energy in planting the curse seal technique on Sasuke, or all hopes of him getting his perfect vessel will end in failure. Shame he's the son of the fourth, or I would take him with me as well, but still that doesn't mean I can't do something about him too, thought Orochimaru, as Naruto began fighting him again. Fortunately, despite the boy being good in a fight, Orochimaru was able to block several of the punches and dodge a right kick to the left side aimed at his ribs. Earth-style, mud bullets, said Orochimaru, taking in a heavy breath before spewing out a dozen rounds of mud at the boy, hoping some of them would get him to slow him down. Naruto easily dodged them with speed that could rival Orochimaru's before grabbing one of his arms, then stopping him long enough to pull out his sword, and thrusted the blade into the legendary Sannin. Tell me, Orochimaru, how does it feel? How does it feel to fall at the hands to the son of the hero that is a genin of Konoha? The very same village that you betrayed all those years ago, said Naruto, smirking behind his cloth of a mask, as he twisted the blade to leave a permanent mark on the man's stomach. However, the man did not scream and was going to extreme lengths to hold it in with great effort. Damn you, boy. You are more trouble than you are worth. I wonder if you would still be smirking if you knew that I wasn't the only person who was responsible for Kyuubi's rampage, said Orochimaru, giving Naruto his own smirk, as his mouth was being covered in blood. What? Said Naruto, as he stopped smirking when he heard that, and that gave the snake man enough time to go through a set of one-handed hand signs before he attacked. I won't yet, boy. I think you might remember this one. Naruto-san, as you were hit by it, coughs up blood, before you met my pet. Wind release, breakthrough, said Orochimaru right before the blast hit Naruto through several trees before falling down several feet, crashed through several thick tree branches, and then finally stopped on a sturdy one. Damn, that hurt. I'm going to be feeling that jutsu in the morning, thought Naruto, as the snake that was Orochimaru suddenly appeared with blood coming and sping down his mouth. Before Naruto could react, the snake was now going through one-handed signs like Haku did back in Wave after spinning some of his shirt with a chakra-covered hand that revealed the fourth Hokage's seal on the boy. There it is, that seal that binds the nine-tailed fox to his vessel. While it is a nice design, it needs an addition of sorts, thought Orochimaru, as one hand went behind his back while the other went through hand signs. This is my little gift of a curse to you. Uzumaki Naruto. I hope that you understand that I do not want it back when I give it to you. Take this five-pronged seal, said Orochimaru before he espered his 5 fingers into the seal, making Naruto scream in pain after he had tried to hold it in long after the snake had removed his fingers from the seal. Screamed Naruto, as the pain in his mind felt like something out of a nightmare in hell itself before he fell unconscious on the tree branch. Elsewhere, Demon World. Slade was in pain as he felt something coming from Naruto being off, meaning someone or something had screwed with the seal. I've never felt this weak before. Damn. I can feel myself fading away, no doubt back into my cage, thought Slade as he started looking more like a ghost than anything before he was drawn completely back into the seal on Naruto. Slade had just come from a meeting in Demon World with some old friends and family when he felt something was happening to Naruto. He was just about to open a portal to go back in order to investigate when he felt the pain to the stomach. Now he was back in his cell with the gears had grinded to a halt and a complete systems shutdown in his area of the mindscape. Naruto, you have some explaining to do when we talk again, said Slade, as he then noticed the boy was unconscious beyond his cage. Forest of Death. Now that you are taken care of, my next target is the Uchiha, thought Orochimaru as got closer while utilizing hand signs again as he moved within range of Sasuke. Before Sasuke Sakura could react, Orochimaru struck in the most frightening way they had ever seen anyone attack. The man extended his end far beyond human capacity and bit Sasuke on the end before drawing blood upon his release from the boy. Curse seal technique. I wonder what type of seal he will get. He is an Uchiha and he is strong for his age, so will he receive the heaven or earth seals? Thought Orochimaru, as his head and end retracted back into his body normally. What did you do to him? Said Sakura, running over to Sasuke, who like Naruto now screamed in pain at what he just received from Orochimaru. Let's just say that like a zoo, cough. Uzumaki back there. Sasuke Uchiha has been given a gift, but unlike, cough, the one I gave Naruto, this one will empower him with newfound strength. When you want to learn how to use it. Uchiha, please by all means, cough, seek me out. I will gladly show you how to become what you have desired, cough, to be all your life, said Orochimaru before he couldn't take being there anymore and faded through the tree branch below him, almost as if he was becoming a part of it. In another part of the Forest of Death. Hey, did you hear those screams a moment ago? Those screams sounded like Naruto and Sasuke, but what could hurt those two? Said Kiba, making him and his two teammates stop in their tracks. Kiba's team had just recently ambushed one of the two Genin teams the Mist Village had sent to participate in the Chunin exams. After a quick nest of bugs from Shino latched onto the Mist Ninjas, Kiba and Hinata attacked wearing bugs of their own, but these bugs released a special scent that told his colony that they were friends and not to be harmed. Within mere moments the scroll they needed was thus allowing them to head for the tower at the center of the forest. Why you don't think Naruto Keikun or his team a hurt do you? Said Hinata worriedly, as she looked in the direction of the scream with worry and fear for the boy she loved. Don't sweat it, Hinata. Look, all three of us here know that Naruto is the meanest badass in all of the Chunin exams, and something like this, Forest of Death, is going to stop him from getting to the tower, said Kiba, as he wanted to get on the good side of the others by being supportive of Naruto. I'm sure Naruto will be fine, Hinata. All we can do now is have faith in him, Hinata, and pray that he does not fail this part of the exam, said Shino, knowing logically that out of all the rookie 9 Naruto had the highest probability of surviving this place. Hinata could only nod as she felt in her heart that something was in fact wrong and the feeling was not leaving her. If anything, it was growing stronger. Naruto-kun, I pray with all that I am you are safe, thought Hinata, as she looked back one more time before she continued with her team to their destination. Hinata and Team 8 were not the only ones who heard Naruto and Sasuke's screams of pain as they reached all the way to Mitarashi Anko. The special Junin was at the time eating some of her favorite meal. Dango. I recognize those screams. They came from the Uchiha and Uzumaki kid. I better check this out, seeing as nothing should be able to hurt those two with their level of skill and abilities, thought Anko before she took off into the Forest of Death to find out just what was going on. As she made her way through the Forest of Death, Anko stopped when she saw a familiar face, which she thought she would ever see in Konoha ever again. It is that backspring traitor Orochimaru. What is wrong with him? He looks like he's ready to keel over and thought Anko before she leaped down several feet away from him. If it isn't my dear sweet Anko, what brings you here, to my end of the woods? Said Orochimaru, as he clutched his wound before coughing up more blood. I went to investigate an unnatural disturbance that I heard, but seeing you like this by far more interesting. Now I can kill you and take your head to the Hokage, you betraying son of a b. Said Anko, as she took out a kunai to do the deed to end the man's life. You make it sound like it's a a bad thing. In any case, even if you could me I am already from that accursed sword. The sword held by the QB brat. Uzumaki Naruto, said Orochimaru, stunning Anko that someone like her former teacher could be bested by some genin, even if he was a demon vessel. Naruto mortally wounded Orochimaru. Impossible, thought Anko, as she could help wonder just how strong Naruto had now become. Her inner thoughts about the subject were cut short, however, when a ninja threw a smoke bomb down in front of her while wearing a mask. From what Anko could see past the eye saw smoke, the ninja that had a sound headband on started healing Orochimaru's lethal wound until it was no longer life-threatening. It appears luck favors me this day. Go tell your Hokage to continue with the Chunin exams as planned, or he will find Konoha will fall before my hands, said Orochimaru before fading into the tree once more while the ninja disappeared in a swirl of leaves. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Lord Hokage is not going to enjoy hearing this, thought an angry Anko, as she now headed for the tower to talk to Sarutobi Hokage about this so he could speak to Naruto about just what exactly happened. With Sakura, the pink-haired girl that was Haruno Sakura was not having a pleasant day right now, as both her teammates were unconscious. The deed done by the hands of the most feared of the legendary three Sannin, Orochimaru and Sakura, was not in physical fit shape either. Somehow, she was able to get both Sasuke and Naruto moved to a cave on the ground, seeing as the fight was giving her the fear of heights. I hope one of them wakes up soon, or else we're doomed. I can't hold my own against someone like Orochimaru since his skills rival that of the Hokage himself. If he comes back and finds us here when we're at our weakest, we're all going to thought Sakura, as she tried to take care of both of them the best she could from what she learned during her training with Mitarashi Anko prior to the exams. What are you waiting for? Get off your ass and prepare a defense. Cha! Yelled Ina Sakura, as she helped her outer self with the details of planting traps in key places around the cave, finding it good to remember what Anko had told her when she saw the woman out at Kakashi's advice. Within moments, Sakura was done with her now in front of the cave, kunai in hand, and very much exhausted with the need to sleep. She tried to stay awake knowing it would mean the possible death of her and her teammates, but in the end sleep won out, sending her to the land of dreams. On the other hand, in this particular case, a nightmare. The next day morning, Sakura awoke with a start after enduring a nightmare of her seeing Orochimaru suddenly appear, King Sasuke, Naruto, and then finally her in a silent yet painful manner. It was just a nightmare. Let's hope it stays that way, said Sakura aloud to herself. As she looked around, she noticed it was morning of a new day and she was now finally awake. However, Sakura didn't notice that she was now being watched by a pair of genin ninja from sound, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. So when should we strike, Dosu? I want to K that pink-haired girl as soon as possible, said the female ninja of the group with her hand twitching to reach for a shuriken or kunai to K the girl in her sights. Patience, Kin. You will get what you want right after we complete the mission given to us by Orochimaru. He wants us to K both Uchiha Sasuke and his teammate Uzumaki Naruto, said Dosu looking at Sakura with his one eye while the rest of his face was covered in bandages. Fine. You can have the Naruto kid from what he did to you earlier a few days ago while I get Sakura. Zaku can have the Uchiha if he wants, said Kin looking at her other spiky-haired teammate, who nodded in agreement. Yeah, leave that pretty boy Uchiha to me. I'll annihilate him with my arms abilities and then I show everyone that no one should push people like me around, said Zaku, as his face grew a wicked smile seeing how he was going to enjoy destroying the leaf ninja in front of him. I say we observe her for a few more minutes and then if neither the Uchiha or Uzumaki move from within the cave we will initiate the plan as ordered, said Dosu holding up his long sleeve to reveal the big metal bracker with holes in them. This is going to be fun, said Kin with her own sadistic smirk on her face, as she was going to enjoy destroying her opponent with great pleasure. Chunin Tower. Sweet were the first ones here. Strange really, I always thought that Naruto and his team would be here first. Guess he's not as great as he thought he was, said Kiba, who felt a great deal of king intent from Hinata and to a lesser extent Shino. Say that again and I'll neuter you myself, said Hinata before leaving to find a Chunin or Junin ninja in the tower to see if her Naruto-kun was here yet. You would be wise to tread cautiously around Hinata when it concerns Naruto and to an extent myself, Kiba. You know as well as I do that Naruto has captured Hinata's heart as she has his, and they will always have the others to the end of the days. If you try to S them apart, they will literally do that to you, more ways than one, said Shino before he turned and left to plan for what would be coming next. I think I just did something stupid, Harakamaru, said Kiba, only to get a bark from the dog in agreement, while the young pup mentally sighed at the stupidity of its owner. I wonder if Naruto is willing to add me to his family if I were to ask, thought Akamaru, as he made a mental note to help Kiba fight Naruto should it come to that later. Neither Akamaru nor Kiba noticed the Sand siblings enter the tower, or that Temari was now for some unknown reason concerned about Naruto's well-being. He had better be alright for Gaara's sake, as well as mine. Wait, what did I just think? Thought Temari after overhearing Team 8's conversation when they were walking back with Sakura. Sakura looked on throughout the forest surroundings in search of any possible enemies that might try to harm her teammates. So far, everything was quiet, but in her mind, along with inner Sakura found it to be too quiet for it be natural. Something is wrong here. I can almost feel it, whispered Sakura, as she gripped the kunai further. Move in and show no mercy. Orochimaru does not tolerate failure, said Dosu, as he, Zaku, and Kin ran in and made their move against Sakura. Sakura saw them out of the corner of her eye as the sound ninjas suddenly appeared and got closer and closer to her within mere seconds. Got you, thought Sakura as she used her kunai to cut the wire on the traps she had set, which launched several hundred shuriken at them. So you think that will save you? Take this, said Zaku before unleashing a huge wave of air from his palms at the throwing stars, knocking them away. My turn, said Sakura, seeing her chance, and made her move as she sprung another trap, sending a giant log wrapped in vines swinging down from above from her right towards them. Kin acted quickly and threw several explosive tags at the trap, causing the giant wooden weapon to shatter into hundreds of pieces, leaving only splinters. Nice try, girl, but we came prepared for this exam, unlike you, said Kin, as she got behind Sakura, grabbing her hair and getting it in a good GS. Sakura screamed in pain as Kin pulled her hair back with her left hand while she had a kunai in the right one at the ready to take her pink-haired life. While this happened, Dosu and Zaku were both headed towards the cave, only to be blindsided by none other than Rock Lee, who did a double spin kick on both boys, sending them flying while the kunai in hand that he took out was slopped with Kin's. Lee, what are you doing here? Said Sakura, despite the pain she was feeling from the girl behind her with still a strong grasp in her hair. Haruno Sakura, it is my duty to protect a fellow ninja of the leaf, and as such I will now protect you and your teammates as well, said Lee, as he knew all he had to do was stall for time until Naruto or Sasuke could awaken. Foolish boy, do you really think you can stand up against people like us? We are the best genin from the Hidden Sound Village and chosen by none other the Orochimaru himself. You cannot win, said Dosu before he rushed at the thick eyebrow boy, knowing that the genin could do nothing against him. Lee moved quickly, knocking the kunai out of Kin's hands before using his to help block Dosu's attack. At first, it looked like the young leaf genin had succeeded, only to leap back holding his left ear in pain as if someone had espered him there. My ear feels like it just exploded. But, how? Thought Lee, as his ear was now visibly bleeding past his hand that covered the damaged ear. Surprised. You should be. Had that Uzumaki kid behind you in the cave not interfered, you would have seen what I could do right before the written exam. Oh well, it is not as if it matters anymore really. Seeing as you like the other three here are going to all S by our hands, said Dosu, as he walked slowly this time towards the wounded green spandex wearing genin. At least he would have, had it not been for the timely intervention of one Nara Shikamaru with his shadow possession jutsu. Hey, just me playing with my shadow, thought the lazy genius as he put Dosu in an awkward yet funny looking position. Dosu, what the hell are you doing looking like that? Said Zaku, looking at his teammate in the strange position he was in. You really should pay more attention to your surroundings. Know now, said Shikamaru, revealing himself smiling as the first phase of the plan was working. Here it goes. Take care of my body while I am gone. Ninja art, mind transfer jutsu, said Ino, as she used her family's infamous technique to possess Kin. Before Kin knew what was happening, she felt herself falling into the back of her mind as another presence took over in the controlling of her body. Sorry it took so long, forehead girl, but I can't let you show me up in front of anyone else in this exam now, can I? Said Kin, but with Ino's voice, as she let go of Sakura's hair and moved away from her friend. Damn. We're outnumbered Dosu, what do we do? Said Zaku, as Choji appeared holding Ino's body and he sensed two more above the cave in a tree. Before Dosu could answer, however, a dark purplish chakra was rising from one Uchiha Sasuke with his Sharingan eyes activated with dark-looking marks all over his body. Prepare to said Sasuke, as he walked towards Zaku, who looked quite frightened at the sight of the boy. You first. Supersonic slicing wave, said Zaku, unleashing his attack from his palms on Sasuke, hoping it would KO him and Naruto behind him all in one shot. It did not have the exact effect he was looking for, as the shockwave of the blast did not affect him Sasuke at all, while it sent Kin flying into a nearby tree, causing a trickle of her blood to run down the side of both her and Ino's mouth. Oh, I think this could be a problem, thought Shikamaru, as he knew the drawback of Ino's technique was that if the body she possesses SD, so would she. Dosu noticed this and moved to hit Kin's body with his attack, knowing that SS within the team when needed when necessary. Hurry up, Ino, and leave the girl's body or you're going to be in serious trouble, said Shikamaru, calling over to Kin's body with Ino's spirit inside of it, while Lee saw Dosu head for Ino and intercepted his attack one again, only instead of blocking the attack he went on the offensive. As Ino did, Lee delivered a kick to the mummified-looking sound ninja's face, sending him into the air before following up immediately with his. Now for my secret technique known as the Hidden Lotus, said Lee, as he took to the air and once behind the ninja he then used the bandages covering his arms to consume Dosu in them while in midair. Lee was now spinning with Dosu at a fast rate downward that would most definitely see SPLE the bandaged sound ninja. I'll blast it all to hell, said Zaku, as he used his slicing sound waves attack on the earth, creating a cushion for Dosu. Of course, in doing that, the boy left his guard down, allowing a dark-looking Sasuke to grab both of his arms and pulled them back behind his head. Those things on your arm are very interesting and are almost like a bloodline limit. However, I can assume it is the only thing you can do besides using small shinobi weapons like kunai or shuriken, or else you would just be subpar weakling. If that is in fact the case, then let's remove you from the competition, seeing how it has no place for weaklings, said Sasuke as he pulled at Zaku's arms until they were detached at the joint. Sasuke-kun, you have to stop, said Sakura, as she ran up to Sasuke to calm him down, only to have him become infuriated, knocking her down into unconsciousness when he let go of Zaku and focused on her. Why should I listen to you, Sakura? You are a weak, useless ninja, and a pathetic one at that. Your only purpose in this life is to worry more about your appearance than that of your skills. You are a waste, a life that must be removed from this world, said Sasuke before he started doing hand signs for an attack. Everyone was shocked at the power Sasuke was displaying. They did not know what to do, as they were either too exhausted or afraid to do anything. His chakra is now unnatural. It's an evil force I have never seen before, thought Neji, above all of them watching with Tenten, who was now starting to sweat from fear of facing this boy in combat should he use this power inside of him. Sasuke had just completed the second to last hand sign when another large chakra source that was much more powerful arose from the cave. The figure stepped out with his body surrounded in blue and black chakra, mixing and interacting with one another. What do you think you're doing, Sasuke? Said Naruto, walking out with his mask removed and his helmet pulled back, showing off his wild hair for everyone to see. Stay out of this, loser, or you're next. Can't you feel the power I now possess? It is truly an incredible feeling to have, as this new chakra makes me even stronger than you, said Sasuke, as he went to make the next hand sign, but now faced Naruto instead of Sakura. Naruto saw this, and despite the pain that was still coursing through his body, from what Orochimaru did to him before, he acted quickly. He moved with his almost unbelievable speed to stop Sasuke from completing the hand signs with his right, squeezing both of the Uchiha's hands with his right one. You are a fool to think that this power makes you any stronger than you are now, because the truth it doesn't, said Naruto, as the two chakra powers seemed to clash around them. You're lying, Naruto, and everyone here knows it, because you are afraid that I will be better than you, as I rightfully should be. While you are at my feet kissing them like the last that you are, said Sasuke, trying to break Naruto's grip over his hands, only to find even this new power was not strong enough to do that. What's wrong, Sasuke? Show everyone here the strength of the Uchiha clan and the power you pride yourself on, said Naruto, pulling Sasuke towards him until they were face to face with each other and their headbands were scraping against one another. Why you, said Sasuke, only to be kneed in the gut by Naruto before being headbutted, and then with his right hand that was holding the Sasuke's too, he threw the Uchiha into the tree next to Choji and Ino. Anyone else have a problem with me? Said Naruto, looking at everyone before turning his attention upward to see Neji and Tenten looking at him back. You are strong, Uzumaki Naruto. We see now why Orochimaru wished us to KO and Sasuke, but seeing as that is out of the question right now, I would like to make a deal right now, said Dosu, revealing an earth scroll in his hands. Let me guess. You want me to let you three live in exchange for the scroll, right? Alright, you got a deal, but give it to Shikamaru's team, seeing as they don't have the scroll yet and they will need it to pass, said Naruto, pointing to the said team, noticing the sad looks on their faces when looking at the scroll in Dosu's hands. Very well. When we meet again in the form of combat, however, I have every intention of destroying you to prove myself to Orochimaru that I am worthy of being his servant, said Dosu, as he dropped the scroll down next to Choji, picked up an unconscious Kin, and then he and Zaku jumped away into the trees away from the area. Well, that was interesting, said Tenten, so only she, Neji, and Naruto, who unknown to the both of them could hear her. Neji ignored her, as he stared at one of his two targets that he was to destroy later on, that was Uzumaki Naruto. He is much stronger than I anticipated from the looks of his blue and strange black chakra. I'll have to be watchful of his presence during the upcoming third part of the exam, thought Neji, as he like the other saw Naruto put his shinobi helmet back on with the cloth covering his face. Lee, we're leaving, we have the scrolls we need, so let's get to the tower already, said Neji, walking away with Tenten from the clearing with Lee in hot pursuit. We'll see you later, Naruto. Keep that troublesome Uchiha head case contained until you get to the tower, will ya? Said Shikamaru, as he walked away with Choji and a slightly injured Ino next to him. What a lazy person, he will not even let me join him with the other two, said Naruto, letting out a small laugh as he picked up Sasuke and Sakura before heading out. Some time later, in the Forest of Death. Sir, the sound genin you sent to Sasuke and Naruto failed, said a voice next to the snake Sannin. How unfortunate, but not as much as one would think, really. They are still alive and as such can be of use to us in the next part of the Chunin exams. In the meantime, I want YOU, Kabuto, to intercept Naruto so he is weakened or unable to participate in the next part of this exam. He is more powerful than I anticipated, and because of that, he nearly killed me. I want you to extend that same favor to him before he reaches the tower, said Orochimaru, knowing that even with the seal he placed over the fourths was in effect, it did little to stop the boy's true power. Yes, Lord Orochimaru. What about that Anko woman? She knows that you are here in Konoha and will surely have the Hokage put all of Konoha on high alert, said Kabuto, knowing that even with his master's skills he could not defeat the Hokage despite his age in a fair fight. It makes no difference, Kabuto. With Uzumaki Naruto CS pled, or out of the way, and Uchiha Sasuke as my new protege to use for my immortality jutsu, I will not be stopped. Especially by my old teacher, said Orochimaru, signaling for Kabuto to leave. Some time later, Naruto found a small river running along the area that he was using to get to the tower and decided now was a time to get a drink from it. He had already talked to Slade earlier when he awoke and he explained what happened with Orochimaru. The result was just as Naruto expected it to be, and had Slade not been trapped within his seal with the Sannin Zone additions added to it, Slade would have come out transformed in his Demon Lord form, ready to kill everything in sight. At least Slade's calmed down a little. Now, he is no longer in his Demon Fox form like he was earlier, speaking in demon tongue about how he was going to shred Orochimaru's soul into nothingness, thought Naruto, as he took a drink from the stream before picking up his two teammates and headed for the tower. Hey, you're Naruto, right? Said a voice to the right of Naruto that came from a boy with white hair, glasses, and was wearing a mask as well as purple clothing with bits of white underneath. Yeah, I'm Naruto. What's it to you? Said Naruto, turning to face Kabuto from what he smelled of him earlier. Naruto did not want to stretch this out any more than he had to, as he felt slightly off due to the seal on his stomach that was screwing with his chakra system and network. Oh, I sort of got lost out here away from my team, and I was just wondering if maybe I could join you to the tower in hopes to find them there waiting for me. Worst case my team fail and I try again for an 8th time somewhere else, said the mask-covered Kabuto, as if it was the most casual thing in the world. I see. If that were to happen, you would be able to go spy and get information when you need to bring down any of the other hidden villages. Give me a break, you snake-loving bastard, said Naruto, leaping away further from Kabuto, much to the other boy's surprise. How did you know I work for Orochimaru? Said Kabuto, as his eyes narrowed, slightly annoyed and angry at being caught right away, as he hoped that the mask would help in covering identity to fool the boy. You stink of snakes and his blood, meaning that you were around him after he received his lethal wound from me. Though I take since you still serve him, the bastard is alive and well, thanks no doubt to you, said Naruto, gently putting Sasuke and Sakura down on the ground before he stepped forward a safe distance to defend them from harm. You are very observant, Naruto Uzumaki. I can see why Orochimaru sees you as a threat to his plans to destroy Konoha when the time comes. Still, even with your skills in your current condition, I highly doubt even you can handle me with all that you have just gone through recently. Correct, said Kabuto, making chakra appear in both his hands in the form of a blade. Naruto stayed silent, neither confirming nor denying the statement. However, Kabuto did have a point, seeing as the incident with Orochimaru, his chakra system being screwed up, the fight with the Sound Genin, the struggle in controlling Sasuke, and now this ready-to-fight ninja, who looked like he had just started the exam. He must be very powerful to serve the snake to be trusted in his healing. From what I remember from Dad's scrolls on medical jutsus, that technique he's using acts like a scalpel, but in the form of chakra. From the looks of it, he does not need to get a direct hit on the skin to make contact with my inner body parts with that. I have to be careful, thought Naruto, getting into fighting stance. Kabuto instantly moved at a speed that rivaled Kakashi's with his chakra scalpels ready to strike Naruto, who was slightly surprised that the other masked figure could move like that at his age. The two started to go at it with great intensity, with Kabuto moving on the attack, with Naruto holding his ground on defense with his speed, allowing him to dodge rather than block the chakra scalpels. You are pretty good, Naruto, but considering all that you have been through recently, you are doomed to fail, said Kabuto, as he faked an attack to Naruto's left and moved in on his right, subbing in his left side. Naruto bit back the pain, knowing his regenerative abilities would kick in after this. The other seal was placed on him. Maybe, but at least I can make sure you don't walk away from this untouched, said Naruto, as he grabbed Kabuto's left hand at the wrist, broke with a loud snap, and then went through hand signs while ignoring the pain of Kabuto's right hand in him. Poor Naruto, he does not realize that no matter what technique he uses now, he can't possibly. What the? Thought Kabuto, as he saw the technique being used. Here's a little move I've been wanting to use for some time, but couldn't, knowing it would upset the stuck-up Uchiha. Demonic Fire Style, Dark Dragon Grand Fireball Jutsu, said Naruto, as he painfully took in a great big breath of air before unleashing a ball of fire that was black and orange at Kabuto that engulfed both of them in the flames. When Kabuto saw the technique, he immediately removed his hand from Naruto's side to get away. However, even as the masked medic expert did, the range of the fire attack was nearly that of a lethal range even for someone with his healing abilities. The result of the fire attack, which was enhanced greatly by the chakra output Naruto used, created a very huge explosion that sent both ninja flying away from the other. This isn't over, Naruto Uzumaki. Orochimaru cannot be defeated so easily, said Kabuto before getting up from the ground, running into the trees before Naruto could see his now exposed face that would reveal whom he was. Naruto slowly got up from the ground and made a mental note not to do that again unless he decided to become suicidal in the distant future. Okay, now if I am done trying to kill myself again, I can try to get to the tower before I collapse under their weight and my lack of strength, thought Naruto, as he picked up both Sasuke and Sakura, wincing as he did so before heading out again for the tower. At the tower 3 hours later. As the time passed, Hinata had gotten more and more worried about Naruto as she could not for the life of her get the scream she heard out of her mind. What's more, the intense shockwave she felt from an explosion not far off didn't help her either, and if anything made things worse for her. Naruto-kun, why aren't you here yet? Thought Hinata, as she waited in her own little area of the tower where her team was given a chance to rest. The rumors she was hearing from the Chunin and Junin in the tower were not good, as she heard the words Orochimaru, Naruto, attack, and death all in one. She of course knew just who exactly Orochimaru was, and that he was here attacking Naruto brought out fear and anger in the young Hyuga that made her at one point look like the female Hyuga equivalent of her cousin Neji when he was in a bad mood. To make matters worse, when the other teams arrived, Ino was telling how Sasuke didn't look mentally stable and how she was surprised at how he was ready to attack both his teammates without hesitation. This made Hinata even more worried, as she now feared that Sasuke Uchiha would betray Naruto should he be in a weak enough condition, and that the opportunity came to the Avenger, as he called himself. These thoughts were interrupted though by her bug-using teammate Shino, who came into Hinata's room after knocking on her door, so she knew it was a friend. "I just thought you should know that Naruto has arrived with his team," Hinata gasps, but he is not in what appears looking to be in good shape, said Shino, who was slightly hesitant to finish what he said, and was right too. Hinata's eyes widened with fear as she ran out of the room to the outside of the tower to find Naruto walking up the steps holding Sasuke and Sakura on his back, dried blood on his left side, and had small remnants of what used to look like burns on his body. Not only that, but Naruto appeared to have large bites on his body from the looks of it, and then remembered the large bugs in the forest that, had it not been for Shino, would have attacked them. The rest of him was still covered by his nearly destroyed shinobi outfit, though just barely, before Hinata remembered the explosion from earlier and how she had felt that Naruto had been involved in either its creation or receiving end of it. "Hey Hinata-chan. Could you help me out here, please? We have both scrolls. It's just that," said Naruto before collapsing from exhaustion with his teammates falling down next to him onto the ground. "Naruto!" yelled Hinata before she ran to him and held him in her arms before she checked for his heartbeat, which to her relief she found. Her voice, it seemed, carried a great distance into the tower, as several Chunin, Junin, and one Mitarashi Anko appeared on the scene. "Get him to the medical center of the tower now and report any irregularities when you're done your examinations," said Anko, seeing how some of the Junin were reluctant to help Naruto while the others had moved quickly, picked up the Haruno and Uchiha. Finally, seeing as none of them were helping, Anko decided to pick up the boy herself, only to meet the worried eyes and of a reluctant Hyuga heiress. It was clear to Anko that the girl saw the other ninjas not helping Naruto and feared that if any one of them did take Naruto away from her, it would be the last time she would see him alive. She doesn't have that hate the others do for Naruto-kun, but that doesn't mean she's a friend either, thought Hinata, holding on to Naruto even tighter. It was not until the third Hokage came after hearing Hinata's voice that did Hinata calm down slightly. "I'll take him to the medical center in the tower. Anko, you will escort me there so I can keep a watchful eye on all three, and after that, I want Kakashi here as well, and on time," said Sarutobi, as he took Naruto from Hinata before heading into the tower with Anko and Hinata in tow. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.